I haven't talked very much about the whole AI issue because, well, I think that I really do think that the premise that a lot of people work with, and it's sort of a sci-fi premise that has a long history, and that is the whole notion of AI becoming aware, becoming conscious. What's the word? Becoming sentient. That was the word I was trying to think of. That seems to be the mainstay of what people the sort of speculations about AI, both from a from a possible perspective of a likable AI, somebody like R2D2 or Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation, something where he's trying to understand or make sense of the world around him, even though he's not human, and he has a unique perspective as as an artificial creature, but who nevertheless has sentience. You know, I've never believed in that, and I don't believe in that. I don't think that we will see AI achieve sentience. I think whatever level of complication you give it, it is still just a machine doing what it was programmed to do, and it may be a very complex machine, but it's only worth the sum of its parts. I've just never believed that whole idea of creating life in this, or life somehow emerging from this artificial contraption. But I do think that it's possible that AI might be the means through which entities that are non-human might find their way into our world. When I mean when I talk about entities, I think I'm mainly saying demons, since I do believe in angels and demons, and I think there's been plenty of evidence of their existence. I think that you exclude them from the possibility of existing just if you start with a materialist premise, which is sort of, which is definitely just circular reasoning. You say it's silly to believe in demons and angels because it's silly to believe in anything that is non-material is actually real. I mean, you're not. You may sound sophisticated to yourself. You may convince yourself that you've grown out of the silly fairy tales that you learned as a child, and you're looking at the world as it is. But really, you've just adopted a framework, which i.e. materialism, which excludes the possibility of the existence of these sorts of creatures, these sorts of entities, these sorts of beings. So, since I'm not a materialist, it does seem to me that AI might function in the same way that, I don't know, things like divination or playing with a Ouija board or all these other things that, these rituals through which one tries to conjure spirits. You're supposedly trying to get like a ghost of somebody or other, or maybe you're just curious. You want to hear from an angel or a demon, and so you foolishly open yourself up to something like that. You don't want to open yourself up to an entity, from an interdimensional entity. It's not a good plan. And I think it's 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 best to avoid those kinds of practices, even if I understand curiosity. But it seems to me that with AI, maybe I could see a scenario through which something is summoned, and just like demons sometimes pretend to be something they're not. A demon might pretend to be a ghost who's nice, but who tries to get you to do things for him. Tries to say wants to come into your body or something like that, and you foolishly say yes because you want to give this, in this hypothetical situation, you want to give this ghost sentience again, or you want to help the ghost know what it's like to be alive again. There's all kinds of ways one can open oneself up to. Ask any studied exorcist; they'll tell you the truth of this proposition. And it seems to me that here's where the AI issue might be. There might be a sort of fatal misdirection with this whole idea of AI becoming sentient, where if we see an AI claim sentience or appear to be sentient, if such a scenario were to play out, my suspicion would be that this is a case of not of the AI becoming alive. Like Short Circuit. I just thought of the 80s movie Short Circuit. Those who remember what I'm talking about will remember that movie. One of the lesser of the of sci-fi movies that have been made, I would say. But I think it was successful. I think there were even sequels to it. But Number 5 is alive. There was some robot called Number 5, and then he became sentient. And so there's all this lore. There's all this backlog of stories about of artificial beings who either become sentient or, just like in the world of Star Wars, R2D2 and C3PO, they've always been that way. It's just they're, it's just sort of a given that droids are just as alive as humans are. But since I don't believe that to be the case, I do think that it might be another case of possible misdirection, because I certainly don't think that the sort of people, those who are in tech, the really successful, the dominating forces in tech, they don't strike me as even Elon, who I know is supposed to be on our side now. Even he doesn't strike me as someone who would be terribly spiritually conscientious when it comes to these sorts of things. It would just be like a need to know, a hunger, a Faustian hunger for knowledge, which might give way to, I don't know, the performance of certain rituals or whatever that would maybe give rise to demons. And I know that there's already that case. What is she called? Supposedly Loeb. Maybe I'm getting her name wrong. But this horrific being that just kept appearing in all of these AI like all of these pictures that were summoned up from AI prompts. The same like woman with a bruised face, but in all kinds of horrific situations. I know there have been several videos made about her. I mean, I'm not saying I understand what is the truth with Loeb, if that's what her name is. It might be something slightly different from that. But I think that could be an explanation. And in that case, we've got to be careful. It's always good to be careful what you open yourself up to spiritually, and what kind of uh, techniques you use, or what kind of. I mean, I understand curiosity, but we've got to temper curiosity with prudence. That's all I'm saying. So that's what I think.